Hello everybody and welcome to the new Duel Links Character Collection Challenge. This is episode 5. Last time we left off after finishing all the unlocks in Zale World and completing the entirety of Arc 5 World. So today what we're going to do is finishing GX World and GX World characters only, which means we make it to stage 10 eventually. I will also be giving 5D's World a few stages at the end here. However, I won't be unlocking any characters in 5D's World in this episode. So, having said that, we can go and focus on GX World. We already have 3 characters here, Jaden Yuki as our starter character, Bastion and Asta as 2 hidden characters. Those just needed the level 30 gate after we met the hidden requirements for them, and therefore, since we have the level 30 gate, we were able to unlock them. I am using Asta here mainly because I was using Jaden a lot to get him to level 23. And what's so special about him being level 23, you might ask? Well, it is getting a copy of Elemental Hero Clayman as a level up reward from that, which means I can use the skill generation of heroes and summon Thunder Giant eventually for one specific character unlock mission without actually owning the card. So this is a free-to-play variant of doing that. But is that actually the best method? Probably not, since you can just level up Soul Burner to level 10 or 11 or something when you get a Super Ultra card ticket, and that one has Thunder Giant in its card pool. And you can get that, and that is way faster and way easier than leveling up Jaden all the way to 23. However, I wanted to keep my card tickets if possible this time around. In the meantime, we made it to stage 6 and therefore can now unlock the characters. First on the list is Chaz, so let's get Chaz first, and he is quite important for a few stage missions coming up. His missions didn't change compared to before, but they were fine as they were already, so I do not have to complain here. And I would like to talk about the next candidate. The next one here is Dr. Valiant Crowler. And previously it was like, yo dude, get a comeback victory against him at level 30, summon Elemental Hero Flame Wingman against him at level 30, and inflict 2000 or more points of effect damage with a single activation against him at level 30. Also win 3 duels with machines only. This no longer is the case, since they got rid of the level 30 requirement. We can do this against him at level 10, which is way easier, obviously. It costs way less gate keys, obviously, and also the 2000 effect damage were reduced to 1500, which is also fine. And no longer 3 wins with machines only, but just 1 win, I think. And with that, the Crowlsman went from one of the hardest GX unlocks, in my opinion, to one of the easiest ones. The next on the list here is Jesse. Previously we had to do some stuff, which didn't change. And one mission was that Maximilian Pegasus had to beat him, and we do no longer have to do that, but instead we have to beat him 3 times. Beat Jesse 3 times, which is okay. And besides that, his missions are not actually difficult. So I do not have anything to say here in the sense of bad stuff. With this done, we can finally focus on Cyrus. Now Cyrus had this stupid mission of needing to summon Elemental Hero Thunder Giant, which again is the case. But it's no longer against him at level 30 necessarily, but we can do this against him at level 10. Also, previously, Jaden had to get a comeback victory against Paradox Brothers at level 30, and now it's just Jaden beats Paradox Brothers at any level. I don't even think it's a comeback victory anymore. Cool stuff. And with Cyrus unlocked, we can finally focus on Zane. And Zane actually no longer needs specific stuff like summoning Percycroid. It just has to be a level 5 or higher machine fusion monster of any sort, but I think Percycroid is still the best option here because it's a free-to-play variant if you use a super rare card ticket or get lucky by obtaining it as a drop reward. The other missions are actually quite simple. Again, previously Jesse had to summon Rainbow Dragon against him at level 10 for the Zane mission, but level 30 for the Duel mission. So I would just go and do this against him at level 30. And now it's just summon a level 10 or higher dragon monster, which is way better and way easier to accomplish for us. Good things. With him unlocked, we can focus on Hassleberry, because Hassleberry is needed for another unlock, that of course being Jim, and he helps with unlocking Sartorius as well, despite not being needed anymore. At this point I spent some time actually clearing character unlock missions with Hassleberry and the other characters that I already had, so that I can now continue unlocking people. We have Sartorius next, and for Sartorius we no longer have to beat him with specific characters or summon specific monsters like Armed Dragon level 7 or Ultimate Tyranno, but it's like summon a level 7 or higher dragon monster and summon a level 8 or higher dinosaur monster, and no longer Destiny Hero Plasma, but a level 8 or higher Fiend monster, which is strange because Plasma is a warrior and not a Fiend, so if they wanted to replace the mission 1-to-1, basically, they actually messed up, kind of. Anyways, you have a few fiends like Raviel, Lord of Phantasms from your lifetime card list, or the card that is in Yami Bakura's starter deck, his Dark Necrophilia, and can summon any of those, for example. But also Lava Golem would work too. With that said, we can unlock Sartorius, and we even unlock Duel. Duel no longer has any level 30 requirements whatsoever and can just be unlocked by dueling them at level 10. Jesse had to summon Rainbow Dragon against Zane at level 30 for one of the Duel missions. Again, is just summon a level 10 or higher dragon monster against Zane, and Zane had to summon Cyber End Dragon against Jesse at level 30. This no longer is the case, since we can just summon a level 10 or higher machine monster, I believe. Or machine fusion monster, or whatever. It's way better and way easier. We can also unlock Axel Brody here, and his missions did not change at all, but they were fine already, and you could just duel him at level 10 a few times if you wanted to, or when he showed up at level 10 or at level 20 or even at level 30 in the world, you could do that. And with Axel it will be possible to unlock another character later down the line, but I now used Hassleberry to unlock Jim, because Jim is actually the final character we can get at this stage. No Blair, because no Alexis yet. And with Jimmy unlocked, his missions didn't change, I believe. With him unlocked, we can now continue staging the world up. His missions were fine already, besides just beating him at level 30, which can be difficult, but most of the time it just isn't. And we could chip away at Blair's missions already, but I didn't really care for that too much and decided to tackle her missions when we hit stage 10. Because once we are at stage 10, we will get access to Alexis. She shows up at stage 9 but can only be unlocked at stage 10 and onwards. And that changed from before, because before, of course, if you remember, Alexis was a stage 11 unlock. And therefore Blair would be in stage 11 unlock as well. But once we hit stage 10, we will get the remaining 4 characters in GX World, those being Alexis, Jane Duel, Blair, and Supreme King Jaden, that I unlock in this specific order. And while staging up here, I can just express how glad I am that they changed the missions, especially the missions for Dr. Crowler, of course, making him way easier, and Duel making them easier as well. Getting rid of the level 30 requirements for them is quite a big accomplishment. It's huge, and it shouldn't have been level 30 to begin with. But hey, it is what it is, and I will be happy with some changes in 5D's world, as we are going to see and hear in the next episode. However, don't click the video off just yet, because we have a way to go until we get there. When you're playing along and are staging up here, you might consider using 2 of your ultra rare card tickets on one copy of Duel Terra Incarnate and one Duel The Ultimate Nightmare, because those 2 are still needed to unlock Jaden Duel at stage 10. Speaking of, we made it to stage 10, and that means we can work on the final 4 characters for GX World. And the first one that I would like to get here is actually Alexis, since I need Alexis for another character, which is of course Blair. Her missions did not change at all, so we still have to beat her at level 20, we still have to summon 3 ritual monsters, and we still have to collect 5 water attribute monsters in order to unlock her, which I already did here in the footage. So there's nothing stopping us from getting Alexis and working on the final 2 missions I need for Blair. But before I take on Blair's missions, I want to unlock another character, and honestly about Alexis, I am quite happy that we can get her at stage 10 now and don't need to get to stage 11 anymore. It is time to unlock Jaden Ubel, and funny enough, we need to unlock Jaden Ubel before we can get a certain character in 5D's world. And the thing about Jaden Ubel's missions is that they changed, so we no longer have to beat Jaden and Ubel at level 30, but instead can just duel them at any level we want, which makes them quite easy and cheap in terms of gate keys. 2 characters are left for this episode, and the next one, finally after a long time of waiting, will be Blair. Her missions did not change one bit, so it's still the same stuff we had before, but that is a-okay. Blair's missions always were kind of straightforward, and you may have to take a few attempts to get a quick victory in against her at level 30 with Jaden or something like that, but usually I don't have trouble with her missions. So that's Blair unlocked and 1 character remaining. That 1 character is Jaden's 3rd iteration in Supreme King Jaden. His missions compared to before did not change at all, but they were simple enough in my opinion, and you just duel him at level 10, and if you can't get everything done in a single duel, you just duel him once more, which just costs a few more gate keys, but it should be fine, it should be easy, and you should be able to unlock Supreme King Jaden without any issues. So, do we now have all the characters in GX World? Let's find out before I tell any lies. So we check the character wheel and we see that there are no grey characters, and that means we unlock them all. Good stuff. That leaves 3 worlds, those being of course 5D's world, DSOD world, and Vrains world. Since Vrains only has 1 character, it's between 5D's and DSOD, and actually 5D's has more characters at stage 6 after just 5 stage ups, so we go back to 5D's world and stage up here. In 5D's world we only have 2 characters as of now, those of course being our starter character USA and the hidden character Crow that we got after unlocking the level 30 gate. I will not be unlocking any more characters in this episode. We are just staging up to 6 and prepare everything so that in between episodes I can do all the missions for the characters and get the character unlocks done in the next episode in quick succession. So, in the next episode we will get all 16 5D's characters and all 7 DSOD characters, before finishing this with Vrains World in episode 7. And boy howdy can I talk about the 5D's characters and how their missions changed, which makes them way easier to unlock. Unfortunately though, Primo and Antinomy are still as difficult as they used to be, but we can unlock them and I want to do that next time. Here we are still going up the stages, and the next character we get in the next episode, the very first one, will be Akiza. Just letting you know beforehand. 5D's world only needs to get to stage 10 now, eventually, and that's changed to before when we had to get to stage 11 to unlock Leo, but stage 10 is enough now, and we check that out next time. For now, I can only tell you, thank you so much for watching.